Hey everybody, Dr. Jo Messenger here. Thanks for tuning in. We've been on a little bit of a journey talking about the master diamond blueprints for your body and how that's relevant for you in your current life. And I promised last time we'd be talking more about the inner workings of your inner masculine and your inner feminine. So let's go. So we're talking about the multi-dimensional master diamond blueprints that each and every one of us is inside of, with our unique blueprints, our unique plans for us in this particular lifetime. And this is the right, this is the left, in case it's one of those camera things that switches the orientation. So the right side of your master diamond blueprints is your masculine side. The left side is your feminine side. Now the masculine, like literally down the middle. So this is connecting you to all that you've ever been from when you first incarnated on the planet. It's connecting you to all you've ever been. And if you're grounded, it's also connecting you into your connection point inside the earth. The right side, the masculine side, is also the positive energy, positive with respect to energy. The feminine is the negative with respect to energy. So this is the yang, this is the yin. This is the doing. This is the feeling. This is the thinking, which might have been a better match for feeling, and the doing might have been a better match for the being. You follow me? All of us have masculine energy and feminine energy inside of us. So, let's go a little step further because this is important. And I can't get the lid off that one now. Who needs to work out just a little bit more? Okay, so this is the electrical and the mind. This is the magnetic and the heart. So it's the masculine energy, it's the brain energy, the knowing, the deciding that sends out the electrical signal to the universe, sends out the electrical signal to everything, everywhere, all of the time, through all of the time, spaces and dimensions. And the magnetic, the heart, is what magnetizes back to you whatever is a match for what you sent out. So if you sent out loving, kind thoughts to other people, to the community, to the creator, to the planet, to wherever and whatever, then you can magnetize back to you the matching equivalent of that. So if you're believing, thinking, saying, doing loving, kind thoughts about your highest destiny, about your goals that are aligned with your soul purpose, then you will automatically, if your heart is open, magnetize back to you those matching positive people, circumstances, and situations. If you have been unknowingly or unfortunately, if you have intentionally been sending out negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative beliefs, negative words, then you will sooner or later automatically magnetize back to you equivalent negative people, situations, thoughts, words, and experiences. So it's really important to master your thoughts, to master your words, to master your feelings, to master your emotions, to make sure that what you're sending out is a match for what you'd like to have in your life, for what you would like to receive back to you. And when you can see the depth of the Master Diamond Blueprints, how they really are a foundation for all of the different philosophies, for the yogic philosophies, for the Chinese and the Korean philosophies, for the quantum science philosophies, for the ancient mysticism, you can see how there's a common thread within all of the ancient philosophies. There's a common thread of truth. And it's important to be discerning, because just because there are some truths doesn't mean that all of the philosophies are all of truth. We know that from experience, right? We know from big religion, big pharma, big medicine, big media, big tobacco, big alcohol, big, that where there's an opportunity for greater good, there's also an opposite opportunity for greater bad, for self-aggrandizement, for corruption. So you need to be discerning and keep the philosophies and the understandings that align with positivity, that align with what you in your heart know to be true and correct, and to ditch all of the things that are not aligned with that. And this might be really challenging sometimes. So say, for instance, you've been raised in a particular society or culture that's very strong in its beliefs and understandings about something, and you come along and you can see where there's good in that, but you can also see the flaws in that, the limitations in that, the restrictions in that. Then you have a decision to make. Do you decide to go along with what you've been taught and what has been for however many generations or years or millennia? Or will you be true to your own heart? Will you be true to yourself and make your decisions accordingly, which you can almost guarantee will come at a price? It is highly likely that you'll need to leave situations, jobs, communities, family members, friends, circumstances behind in order to stay true to yourself. But here's the upside. When you do that, then the reward is greater than you could ever possibly imagine. So say, for instance, I can use the same drawing. With the Master Diamond Blueprint, the center point previous video, this will make a little bit more sense, but you don't have to have done that. The center point is also known as the feeling center. And so when we were shut down from the feminine gifts thousands of years ago, we lost a lot of that innate intuitive awareness. And so our feeling centers were made quite small because there was an agenda in having to obey the patriarchy, the masculine, to do as we were told, to be under the thumb of the authority of the day. Now, what's been happening over the last however many years, probably since the harmonic convergence around about 1987, people who have been able to see through a lot of what was happening in the world were gradually listening more and more to their feelings, listening more and more to their inner feminine, and growing their feeling centre. And what's been happening more recently is a lot of the children that are coming in, that are being born now, they're born with larger feeling centres. And for the people who have been acknowledging their intuition, hopefully also maintaining the positivity of their inner masculine and their thinking, saying and doing, their feeling centres have been growing, and ideally, when our feeling centre expands out to the full parameter of our Master Diamond Blueprint, then we'll truly be balanced within our heart and our mind, balanced within our inner masculine and our inner feminine. So if you've been used to, like most of us for eons, if you've been used to being patted on the back, encouraged, applauded for the gifts of the masculine, you know, being able to memorise your times table, being able to solve a problem, being able to do algebra, to be able to whatever the masculine things are, then maintain that. Maintain what you've learnt and what you've mastered, and do whatever you can to build up your feminine energy, your intuition, your feeling, anything that promotes the traditional right brain things: music, speaking, singing, writing, expressing, loving, nurturing. Build up your feminine energy at the same time as maintaining your masculine energy, so that you get this equivalent. Because we talked last time about how if the conquential line, if the equator was offset, then everything in your Master Diamond is offset. It can be similar with your masculine and feminine. If your masculine and feminine are offset, then your connection to all that you are and to all that you've ever been, to all of your gifts, tools, talents and abilities from previous incarnations is offset. You either won't be able to, or it will be harder to tap into that if your masculine and your feminine are off balance. So can you see how it's really important that we have respect and acknowledgement for our inner masculine and inner feminine, and that is as within, so without. The more we respect the positivity of the feminine in the community and the masculine in the community, the more this keeps everything balanced. Do you follow me? So it's time that we stopped applauding toxic masculinity and we stopped applauding toxic femininity. Even though we can understand it, even though we can understand that the toxic masculines or the masculines have had, full reign for thousands of years, and the frustration of the feminines who have had to put up with that, who've had to tolerate being raped, oppressed, domestic slaves, etc., bearing children that they didn't necessarily want or whatever. We have to put all of this to rest and to start feeding within ourselves the divine masculine, feeding within ourselves the divine feminine, feeding and applauding within our communities and the greater world divine feminine and divine masculine with equal respect, with equal union, so that we can grow our own feeling centres, function by our full intuition, function by our full magnetism, and get things back on an even keel. It's not just for us internally. We've got a responsibility to our communities, to the planet. We've seen what happens when we pendulum swing too far one way. And it might take a pendulum swing a little bit too far to the feminine for a bit, for us to come back to the middle and find that sweet spot within ourselves, within our families, within our workplaces, within our communities, and on the planet itself. It's up to the likes of you and me. The governments, the authorities, the big medicine, big pharma, big tobacco, big alcohol, big cocaine, big, they are not going to do it for us because they have an agenda in keeping things the way that they were. Even if they can't see that that's not working anymore. Put all of that aside and keep your focus, keep your attention on where is this in you? What can you do in your everyday life to make sure that you're putting an end to your toxicity, you're putting an end to your shadow, and it doesn't mean stuffing it down, it means resolving it and integrating, exchanging your positivity, your divine femininity, your divine masculinity. It's up to us to change ourselves, to change the way we are in our families, to change the way that we are in our communities, and to truly master ourselves and hopefully make the world a better place in the process. In the next video, as promised last time, I'll be talking more about the elements, the earth, air, fire and water, where they are in your master diamond blueprints and how that is relevant, of course, to your everyday life. Because if you know anything about me at all, it has to be practical as well as making sense philosophically. What is the point of knowledge if you don't do something with it? What is the point of knowledge if you can't do something with it? I'm all about both. See you in the next one.